American finds out about TV licensing in the UK for the first time and lawyer reacts to explain it. This is not a joke. Let's get into it.
Who are you? My name's Craig from TV licensing. Bro, what? I'm afraid our records show you don't have a valid TV license at this address.
Both things you might be surprised by if you're an international viewer. And if you're in the UK, you'll just find this entertaining. But yes, we do have a TV license in the UK, which requires you by law to have a license to watch or record live TV on any device, on any program, from anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be from the UK. You could be watching live programs broadcast via satellite or whatever from any other country in the world. If you're watching it in the UK, the law requires that you have a TV license for it. Now, they also have a database of every address in the UK that has or does not have a license. And so if your address doesn't have a license, you might get a knock at the door because they'll come asking you why you haven't got a license, and they'll ask to come in and look at the TV and all that sort of stuff. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's watch the video first.
So I'm afraid I'm gonna have to come in and have a look.
I must be tripping, man. Did you say I need a license to watch TV, man? Do I need to answer questions? Do I need to demonstrate? I mean, I got...
Both of which are valid questions. Do you need to answer questions? Simple answer, no, unless there's a warrant, but we'll come back to that in a minute. Do you have to let them in? Do you have to demonstrate? No, again, unless you have a warrant. We'll come back to that in a minute. There's no legal requirement to answer any questions. There's no legal requirement to let anyone in. There's no legal requirement to demonstrate any of the equipment that you may or may not have that may or may not be capable of being used for watching live TV, with or without a license. Obviously, without a license, live TV would be illegal, but that's not what I'm recommending. But as I said, I'd come back to the warrant. I will come back to it properly in a minute, but all of those things may be caveated if there's a warrant in place. Like I said, I'll come back.
I got my driver's license. Does that count?
I'm just doing my job here, pal.
Now, first of all, there's no legal requirement either to produce a driving license or any kind of ID, so I wouldn't recommend that either. Unless, save perhaps, if there's a warrant. But again, I said I'll come back to that. But again, this chap here is just about to say that he's new. And yes, I mean, some people may not understand the requirements for a TV license, but let's carry on.
I'm new here, man, so I ain't even understand y'all British humor like that. It's not a joke. So I'm gonna just let you do you, man. Hey, peace out.
You're not going anywhere, mate.
Y'all actually got jokes.
And this is where it changes, because this is breaking the law on the part of the TV licensing pretend to be officer, because you can't put your foot in the door to prevent somebody from closing it. You can't use any force, in fact, to enter the property or prevent someone from closing the door or anything like that. They can't use any kind of intimidation tactics. The only time they can use any kind of force at all, you guessed it, is if they might have a warrant. But even then, they very rarely, if ever, use any force to enter a property like that. And even if they do, they would come along with the police and they would try to insist that they come in on that occasion. And even then, your only compulsion is to provide reasonable assistance under the law for their inspection of television equipment in the premises. But they can only get this warrant if they have evidence in the first place to justify a magistrate granting, or a district judge granting, a warrant to come and search the premises for evidence of you watching or recording live TV or using BBC iPlayer. But they can't put their foot in the door, as is shown here, as some people complain that they allegedly do. Not sure that's true. Maybe you'll tell me in the comments. Let's carry on.
You put your foot in my door, trying to get in my crib for a TV license?
Get your ass out here, man.
Come back.
And whilst I don't condone aggressive behaviour towards TV licensing officers, many people might feel that they are aggrieved by the attitude of TV licensing officers when they visit. Now, all should really be resolved with a simple conversation, which begins with, "May I come in to inspect your TV equipment?" And the answer should be nothing at all, and just ask them to leave if you don't want them in your premises, unless, of course, they have a warrant. Because if they have a warrant and you fail to provide reasonable assistance, you may be committing a separate offence. And so in that situation, they should show you the warrant and why it is they believe that they can come in and take a look around. And usually they'll be accompanied by police officers. So that's the one caveat to look out for. But ordinarily, without a warrant, you do not answer any questions. You don't need to answer any questions. You don't need to let them in the house. You don't need them to look at anything. They certainly can't put their foot in the door to prevent you from closing it. And they can't be abusive and aggressive. And they certainly can't sort of push their way in. So my American friends, if you're in the UK, the TV license is a real thing. And these are some of the questions that people have as to what you can and can't do if they turn up at your address. I hope that it's been helpful. If it has, please do drop me a subscribe and I'll see you next time.